650 songs. That's a conservative count of what Dolly Parton has published, and some tallies put it near 3,000. Either way, she wrote Jolene and I Will Always Love You on the same day.
Come on.
That's the story she's told, and she's told it consistently for decades. One afternoon, 2 songs that would each outlive most careers.
You know what that is? That's like a chef inventing 2 dishes in an afternoon and both of them end up on the menu of every restaurant on earth. It shouldn't be possible.
Well, hello. I should say who's here. I'm Maya Okafor. I'll be keeping us on the road today. And I've been quietly obsessed with this woman since I realised the sweetest voice in country music was also one of the shrewdest people in American business.
I'm Nika Petrov, and I'll be the one going, hang on, 650 or 3,000? Because those are very different numbers, and I'd like us to say which we actually trust before we build a whole episode on it.
Fair. Noted.
And I'm Ravi Menon. I collect the details nobody puts on the plaque, like the fact that she grew up in a 1-room cabin in the Smoky Mountains, one of 12 children, and the doctor who delivered her was reportedly paid in a sack of cornmeal.
That one I'll allow. She's said it many times.
The cornmeal baby, I love it already.
So let's actually start there, because the rags to riches thing gets flattened into a slogan, and the real version is harder and better. Tennessee, the Great Smoky Mountains, dirt poor.
Poor in a specific way, though. This is Appalachia in the 1940s and 50s. Her father couldn't read or write. She's spoken about that openly. And the music around her wasn't a career. It was just the air. Church singing, mountain ballads, songs handed down.
She made her first guitar, or something like one, out of an old mandolin and bits of wire. As a small child, she's up on the porch performing for the chickens and the pigs, sticking a tin can on a stick for a microphone.
The tin can on a stick. That gets me every time, because that's the whole person right there, isn't it? The audience is livestock, and she's still putting on a show.
And here's the part I think matters more than the poverty. She was writing songs before she could properly write them down. Her mother would help her get them onto paper. So the instinct to make the thing, the composing instinct, that's there before any of the ambition or the business sense.
There is a lovely detail. An uncle, Bill Owens, saw it early and started hauling her round to radio shows and any little stage he could find. She's on Knoxville radio and television as a child, so she's a working performer as a girl.
And then the move that tells you everything. The day after she graduates high school, the very next day.
She's on the bus to Nashville.
First in her family to finish high school, and she doesn't hang about to enjoy it. She goes.
1964. And I want to be careful here because the myth wants it to be instant. It wasn't. She's writing for a publishing house, she's scrapping around, she has some minor success as a songwriter first. The singing career takes a while to catch.
Which brings us to the man who made her and nearly kept her, Porter Wagoner.
Huge television star at the time, the Porter Wagoner show, syndicated all over, rhinestone suits you could see from space, and in 1967, he brings this young blonde woman on as his girl singer.
And the audience hated her at first. They wanted the previous singer back. She said people would hold up signs. She had to win them over week by week.
But win them she did, and the 2 of them become this duet act, and the record starts selling. And here's where the business story really begins. Because Porter didn't just employ her, he was a partner in the publishing. He had a stake.
He co-owned a piece of her career, and the contract, the arrangement, meant that as she grew, he grew with her, which was standard for the era, but it becomes the cage.
7 years. 7 years she's on that show, and she's outgrowing it the whole time. She's having solo hits. She knows she's bigger than girl singer, and Porter does not want to let go.
And this is the moment everyone half knows without knowing they know it, because the way she left him.
She wrote him a song.
She wrote him I Will Always Love You as a goodbye, as a way of saying, I'm leaving, I have to leave, and it isn't because I don't love you. She reportedly sang it to him in his office to explain why she was going.
Imagine being told you're being left and the person leaving hands you the most beautiful farewell ever written and it's about you. What do you even do with that?
Yeah, you reportedly say, all right, you can go if I get to produce the record. Which again tells you the man.
Even the goodbye had a rights clause.
And this is where I want to slow down, because there's a business decision here that I think is the single most important one she ever made. And it's not glamorous, it's about publishing.
Tell them the Elvis story. This is the one.
So, Elvis Presley wants to record I Will Always Love You. Enormous deal. Biggest star on the planet wants your song. But the Presley camp, this was apparently the standard practice around Colonel Tom Parker, required that they get half the publishing rights to any song Elvis recorded.
Half the song, forever, in exchange for Elvis singing it.
And she said no.
She said no to Elvis Presley? To protect a song she'd already had a hit with? Everyone around her must have thought she'd lost her mind.
And she has said, and I believe this is roughly how she's put it, that she cried all night over it. This wasn't a cold decision. It hurt. She wanted Elvis to sing her song.
But she understood something that a lot of far more experienced people didn't. If you give away the publishing, you don't own the song, and the song is the asset. The recording comes and goes. The song is forever.
And then, 20 years later,
Whitney Houston
records I Will Always Love You for The Bodyguard, and it becomes one of the best-selling singles of all time. And Dolly Parton owns the whole thing.
Every cent of the songwriting, because she said no to Elvis in the 70s. That no is worth, well, an amount of money that's hard to even state, but we're talking many, many millions.
And I love this because it reframes her completely. The image is the wigs and the nails and the giggle. The reality is a woman who read a publishing contract more clearly than the people advising Elvis Presley.
She said something like, I'm paraphrasing so don't quote it as gospel, that people assume because of how she looks that she's not paying attention. And it's the opposite. The look is a decoy.
That I'm comfortable with as a fair summary of things she's expressed. She's very deliberate that the packaging is a choice, not an accident.
So let's follow the money, because after Porter, she doesn't just go solo, she goes wide. She wants to be more than a country star. She wants pop, she wants film, she wants the whole thing.
9 to 5, 1980. She writes the title song. She stars in the film, her first film, alongside Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin. And the song goes to #1 on the pop chart and the country chart.
And she wrote it, so I've read, tapping her acrylic nails together to make the rhythm. That clicking on the record, that's her nails.
The nails are a percussion instrument now.
Everything is an asset with her. The nails, the look, the goodbye song.
And then the masterstroke, 1986, Dollywood.
Now this is the one I find genuinely clever from a business standpoint. She takes an existing theme park in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, right in the mountains where she grew up, and she partners in and it becomes Dollywood.
In the poorest corner of the state, she could have built a monument to herself anywhere. She built it at home.
And this is where I'd push slightly on the pure genius businesswoman framing. Not to knock her, but to be accurate. Dollywood is a partnership. It's operated with the Hershin family, who run theme parks. She's not sitting there doing the spreadsheets on ride throughput.
No, but choosing the right partner is a business skill. Arguably the business skill.
Agreed. I just don't want people picturing her as a solo operator running every number. Her genius is judgment. What to attach her name to, what to refuse, when to own and when to partner. That's real, and it's rarer than spreadsheet skill.
And Dollywood is the biggest employer in that county now. Thousands of jobs in a place that had nothing. That's the part that moves me. The poverty she came from, she turned into a payroll for the people still there.
And there's a fable she tells about herself that ties it all together. The butterfly. She loves butterflies. They're all over Dollywood, they're on everything. And the idea is the butterfly is delicate and pretty and everyone underestimates it, but it goes exactly where it wants.
Soft on the outside, absolute steel underneath.
The cornmeal baby became the country's biggest employer. I mean, come on.
Now, here's where I want to raise something because I think it's the interesting tension in her whole story, and I'm not sure we agree on it. The Imagination Library.
The book programme.
She started it in the late 90s, again in her home county, mailing a free book every month to every child from birth until they start school. And it grew and grew. And now it's given away, the figure I've seen is well over 200 million books across several countries.
Every month, a book in the post with the child's name on it. For a kid whose father couldn't read, that detail is the whole thing.
Right, and here's my claim, and I'll just say it plainly. I think the Imagination Library is the most important thing she's ever done. More than the songs, more than the money. I think in 100 years, that's the legacy that matters.
See, and I'd gently take the other side of that. Not because the book programme isn't wonderful, it plainly is. But I think saying it outweighs the songs undersells what the songs actually are. I Will Always Love You, Jolene, those aren't just hits. They restructured what a country song could be. They'll be sung when the charity is a footnote.
But the charity changes actual children's lives measurably now. A song moves you. A book in the house of a kid with no books changes what that kid becomes.
And I'd say, can we separate moves you from matters? Because I think the songs do more than move you. A song that a poor girl in a cabin hears and thinks, oh, someone like me made that. I could make that. That's not decoration. That's the same mechanism as the book. It's the door opening.
Can I get in here? Because I think you're both circling the same thing and calling it two things.
Go on.
Maya, when you say the library matters most, what you actually love is that she took her own wound, the illiterate father, the poverty, and built the exact fix for it. And Nico, when you defend the songs, you're saying the songs did that same thing for her before any money existed. The song was the first door out of the cabin.
Yes, that's fair. The song is the escape route she built for herself, and the library is the escape route she built for everyone behind her.
Oh, that's better than what I said. All right, I'll move off most important. I'll take it's the same instinct pointed at two different centuries.
I'll shake on that.
Look at us, peace in our time.
Though I'd note we never settled the count. 650 or 3,000 songs.
We are not settling it today, Nico.
Can we talk about how strange she is as a public figure? Because I think that's underrated.
In what sense strange?
She is beloved by absolutely everyone across every divide in a country that agrees on nothing. And she manages that by refusing to be pinned down. She won't tell you who she votes for. She won't be claimed by any side.
And people read that two ways. One reading, it's principled. She really wants to be a place everyone can meet, and she won't spend her audience's love on politics. The other reading, it's shrewd. It protects the brand. You don't alienate half your customers.
And I don't think she'd deny either. She's said things to the effect that she's not going to insult half her audience by telling them how to think, which is both principle and business at once.
That's the thing about her. She never pretends the business isn't there. That's what I find refreshing. She'll tell you to your face, the wigs are practical and the sentiment is real and the money is nice. All at once. No contradiction for her.
There is one place the contradictions got tested though, and I think we should be careful and fair about it. The old Dixie Stampede dinner attraction, the one associated with Dollywood's company.
Yes, a dinner show with a, let's call it a romanticised Civil War theme, North versus South.
And it drew real criticism for glossing the reality of that era. And to her credit, the response was to change it. It was rebranded, the Civil War framing was dropped. So the pattern holds. Criticism comes, she doesn't fight it for years, she adjusts and moves on.
Which is its own kind of business sense, honestly. Don't die on the hill. Fix it, keep the goodwill.
And notice she almost never gets dragged into the culture war despite being this enormous southern symbol, because she keeps doing the thing where she disarms you. The self-deprecation is armour.
It costs a lot of money to look this cheap. That line, which she really has said in various forms, you cannot be angry at someone who got there first about themselves.
It's a truly brilliant defensive strategy dressed up as a joke.
Here's a detail I have been dying to bring in, the songwriting vault.
Oh, tell them, because this one still doesn't feel real to me.
She has said she writes constantly, all the time, everywhere, and that there are hundreds and hundreds of unreleased songs, fully recorded, sitting in a vault, songs nobody has ever heard.
And I'll flag, the specifics of the vault are partly her own storytelling, so I'd hold it loosely. But that she writes far more than she releases and stockpiles material, that's well attested.
What gets me is what it says about how she thinks. She's not writing for this year's record. She's writing for after she's gone. She's building inventory for a century she won't be here for.
She's producing catalogue the way an oil company drills reserves.
And catalogue is the asset again. It always comes back to that with her. Own the song, keep the song. The recording is temporary, the composition is forever. Every decision from the Elvis No onward is the same decision.
And she seems to have understood that in the 70s, long before the streaming era made everyone obsessed with owning their masters and their publishing. She was decades early to the fight that every young artist is now having with their label.
That I'll state confidently, because the timeline supports it. The own your work instinct was there from the start. She just happened to be right about it 40 years before it became the industry's central argument.
The butterfly was reading the terms and conditions the whole time.
So let's bring it home. Why does she matter? Beyond the songs, beyond the money.
For me, it's the proof of concept. Here's a woman from genuine poverty in an industry that wanted her to be a decorative girl singer who quietly took ownership of everything. Her songs, her image, her name, her exit from every room she wanted to leave. And she did it without ever once appearing to fight anyone. That combination is almost unheard of.
For me, it's smaller. It's the tin can on a stick. She was fully herself performing for the pigs before anyone was watching. And she was fully herself in front of the whole world. And it was the same person. The wig didn't hide her. It was her. Most famous people, you feel the gap between the public thing and the real thing. With her, I don't think there is one.
And for me, I keep coming back to the fact that she pointed her success backwards at the county she came from. The park, the jobs, the books, all of it aimed at the exact place and the exact kind of childhood she escaped. The escape route pointed home.
Which is the thing we three actually agreed on in the end, even when we thought we disagreed.
We did. Nico, you talked me off most important. I'll grant the songs their century.
And you reminded me, a book in a house is not a smaller thing than a song on the radio. We'll grant that.
And I'll grant that I have no idea whether it's 650 songs or 3000. And for once, I don't need to know. The point stands either way.
I'm framing that. Ravi Menon, the details man, at peace with the missing number.
Just this once.
Dolly Parton, the cornmeal baby who said no to Elvis, out-negotiated the men who owned her, and mailed 200 million books to children she'll never meet. Soft on the outside, steel all the way down.
The butterfly that went exactly where it wanted.
And read every contract on the way.
That's where we'll leave her. Thank you both. Really a joy figuring this one out together.
Any time.
Likewise, that vault will haunt me.
This episode was generated with AI by Demades.